Alright, hello. We're going to be making some coffee. More coffee, pretty standard, not going to go on a whole spiel. But we're going to be making some dark roast coffee. We're going to be brewing some dark roast coffee today. This single origin from a place called Malabar. I don't know where that is. I think where I did some research, it was India. But we're going to make a V60, a pretty nice standard V60. Got my grind setting set up to a 12. One up from yesterday's light roast. Hopefully a 12 should be enough. Should be coarse enough. We'll see. But we're going to go with the method I've been using the past couple of days. We're going to talk a little bit more about roasts in general, which is why I'm doing a dark roast today. Let's get the coffee brewed up. So, dark roast Monsoon Malabar. You can search up where Malabar is. I want to say India, but I don't want to say India because I might be completely wrong. You know. Oh, this is a dark roast. Oh. That's a very dark roast coffee. You can see in the bag, the other bags aren't like this, are they? Like, I know the Guatemalan women's is a medium roast bean. Yeah, that's what I'm. That's a nice chocolatey, kind of quite sweet smelling roast. And then yogurt chefe, Ethiopian yogurt chefe that I had yesterday. No. That's a really nice one. But this is dark for one. This is a dark coffee. My apologies. And in the bag, you might not be able to, you're not going to be able to see that. Oh, you might be able to. It's like, you can see like the coffee bits, like oils have leached into the side of the bag. This is an immensely oily coffee. And this is dark roast coffee, so but it is immensely dark roasted, like as dark as the Sumatran coffee, the commercial grade Sumatran coffee. In any case, we're going to weigh 20 grams of this stuff. I'll show you the beans once you weigh them out. Like, these are small beans. All these beans from Whittards are quite small comparatively to like they feel quite oily comparatively to the beans that I got from Packed, or even the beans from Union, which I feel are just a bit bigger. But the Guatemalan coffee and the Monsoon are quite small beans, and then this Ethiopian coffee. No, these are like kind of normal sized beans. But like, I'll show you. You got 20 grams of this coffee. Look at the colour. Those are very, very dark beans. Oh, and I'm fucking throwing them everywhere. Apparently. And what's that now? 19.7. I'm not going to pick up random beans. We'll give them a spray still for static reasons. Add them in. But like, you saw how dark those beans were. Let that grind. While that's grinding, In here are light roasted beans, Colombian beans from packed coffee. And on those beans, like the colour on them compared to the outstandingly dark colour that we just got from these Indian beans. We're gonna boil our kettle. Like, even the grounds are very dark, dark coffee, dark roasted coffee, dark grounds. Now the smell from the beans, quite earthy, a little ashy almost. Honestly, it looks like the same roast that you get illy coffee at. Now normally, I'm not one to, I don't really mind the dark roast too much, but by the way, we've ground too much. I just realised it's 15 grams. 15 grams, and I've ground like 5 grams more. That is fine. That is fine. I'll just put less grams in the actual the V60. It's not a problem. So we're going to start pretty standard. Get the V60 and our filter papers, and we will rinse the papers out of the coffee and then begin the brewing process. I mean, it's the thing, why did I grind too much coffee with it? 20 grams is for an immersion brew. I do 20 grams when I'm making an immersion brew in my cafetiere. And what am I going to do with 5 extra grams of coffee? I guess I can just grind some more. And I'm going to have some slightly less good coffee, but like, as long as I'm making another coffee today, or later today, or tomorrow morning even, having the coffee pre-ground is gonna, let's assume that I even like it, mind, might be horrible. So we're gonna rinse the paper, pretty standard affair, it's very slow. Pretty deliberate rinse. Make sure the paper is adhered properly. Then, as is standard, we have our waste cup, and then we will dose in 15 grams because I suppose I could do 20 grams, but then we would have a stronger coffee, and it wouldn't really be comparable. Like 20 grams would mean we're doing 80 grams a litre, which is, but not. It's like, it's a massive dose increase, that 5 grams. So, I'm going to dose in 15 or close to 15 as possible. There we are. 16 grams, which is a little high, but it'll do. This is dark roast anyway, so we could dark roast and slightly coarser than yesterday, so up dosing a little bit, it's not going to be too bad. Now I'm not going to re-boil that, it's just come off the boil, and also you want to kind of brew dark roast a bit lighter, a bit cooler. So we got 15.9, 16 grams. Again, about 260 grams of water. We're going to do our standard 60 gram balloon. So start and add our 60 grams and give that a proper. See, oof. Instantly we're going to need to add some more water for this balloon. So this is a much bigger bloom than I would normally go for. And what's happened, I'll tell you right now, 60 grams of water was not enough for this bloom. For whatever reason, it wasn't enough. So I've added 100 grams, we're going to have to just add 100. And then chill. That said, I am considering just restarting this whole affair. Because now we'll finish it. So add up to 200. Then use our spoon to agitate. This is what I've been saying, and I've said it in the past couple of videos. The V60 is so annoying to brew with. All pour-over brewers like this are, because your technique, how tired you are, how focused you are, really impacts the brew. And sometimes, it is ritual. You get used to it. It's a technique, but even then, you are brewing something that realistically you're not going to consistently get every time. We had a very suboptimal bloom. It's not going to affect the brew that much, I don't think. But we had a suboptimal bloom, and also the drawdown through this coffee is very quick. I don't know what that's about. Aggressive, as I was trying to support yesterday. Same thing that happened yesterday's happened today, even worse in fact. I don't know if it's the grind size, and it must be. We're set at 12 here, which is one tick up from yesterday, which was at 11. We're still getting these grounds getting stuck to the sides. I don't know how good this coffee is going to be. We might need to add some sugar, maybe even some milk to it. Because the bed itself actually looks fine, but there's so much coffee stuck. And I'll show you, I'll pick up and show you. It should not look like this. Look, like the bed, that bed is actually a pretty good looking bed. But look at all the coffee stuck to the side walls. It's no good. It's no good. Let me just pop this back down. As I just finish up here, so we're finished. 3 minutes, which is early. 3 minutes 45 is early for me. Normally mine 4 minutes 15, 4 minutes 30. So this dark roasted coffee, maybe coupled with slightly coarser grind size, has, caused quicker drawdown. It's going to be less extraction, which might be a bad thing. We want to extract darker roasts less generally, because they're already quite... Oh no! Do not do that! Let's get me cup. Let's go sit down. Let's discuss roast levels a bit. And, how we let the coffee cool. So, roasting, roast levels, stuff like that. When it comes to coffee and buying coffee and such, you are looking at the level of roast is very important to look out for. because it impacts your coffee probably the most. It's the human thing that impacts it the most. Once it leaves the farms, once it goes to the roasters, it's then the roaster's job to take the coffee, decide how it's going to get roasted. Now, that is going to be a lot of the time with a specialty roaster with, a lot of the newer roasters, that's going to be light to medium roasts. This is because light to medium roasts are more subtle, they have more appealing flavours, more acidity, and you get a lot of those juicy high fruit flavours, stuff like apricots and peaches and strawberries and stuff that you don't expect to taste in coffee. The Ethiopian Igachafe that I had yesterday, beautiful cup of coffee, and one I'm definitely going to go back to again and again while I have the bag. Try it in a couple of different ways. I've not tried it in a cafetiere. I want to try it in a cafetiere and an infusion brew. I want to try that through the French press. I want to try that through the espresso machine. And just all these, and I want to really enjoy and taste and just have good coffee, because that is a nice light roasted Ethiopian coffee with really nice fruit flavours. Now, with that said, most coffee out there is not roasted light to medium. The specialty stuff is specialty grade coffee, which is an actual legal grade of coffee, something that is designated specialty grade, tends to be light to medium. Commercial grade coffee, more often than not, is dark roast. Now the reason for this is when you roast the beans, the more you roast them, the more flavour gets hidden under the roast. A light roasted coffee is going to have a lot more complexity, but it's also obviously more subtle because the flavours aren't very bold, because you've only roasted it lightly. A medium roast is, it's going to be generally medium roasts are quite nice, quite sweet, chocolatey, but not super earthy or dark. Not very bitter. No, definitely with light roasts, not very bitter. And you get these very nice, what you would think is really nice coffee flavour in a medium roast. In a light roast, you get those more not coffee flavours. In a dark roast, you get coffee flavours to the extreme, the stereotypical flavour of dark, coffee in a cup like this, black coffee. The flavours you get out of a dark roast generally are what people expect. They're more bitter, they're earthier, they can be ashy, tobacco flavours, those really pungent, strong, dark flavours that you get in dark roast coffee. Now, funnily enough, lower caffeine content generally, because it's roasted less. The caffeine is physically roasted out of the coffee bowl. Now that coffee, this was a very dark roast coffee. You could see the oils on the coffee, which means this is going to have flavour. I've not tried it yet. This is going to have flavour. Whether that flavour is good, whether it's bad. I didn't like how it smelt. I thought it smelled quite ashy, quite earthy, and not my type of flavours. These coffees generally have low acidity, and I'm just hoping that we're going to get a little bit of acidity in this cup, a little bit of sweetness, hopefully not too much bitterness. Otherwise, I'm going to have to go get some milk. Put some milk in this. Maybe even a bit of sugar cube or two. And make it a bit more drinkable, because I will drink my coffee black, with nothing in it, and enjoy the flavours, especially if it's a nice cup. But if it's not very nice, not my preference, not bad coffee, but not my preference, then I'm going to add some stuff to it to make it drinkable if possible. Now, just smelling this, it's smelling a bit more promising than it did, ground. It's smelling a bit chocolatey, there was still a little bit of ashiness, but there's also like a tobacco flavour. You know, I smoke cigars, so I can appreciate the tobacco flavour. It doesn't smell bad. It doesn't smell like a bad cup of coffee at all. But take a sip. It's still quite hot, so I don't know. But we'll take just a straight sip, and then I'll do a little slurp, and then we'll see how it is. Okay, just off the sip, not bad. Quite thick, quite rich, obviously. Okay, the texture-wise, quite rich and thick, as opposed to being a bit, more tea-like. It's kind of syrupy almost. The flavours are dark, but they're not bitter. No bitterness here. No bitterness that that is strong for me. Now this is piping hot, so I said I'm going to slurp, cool it down, aerate, get some flavours. Yeah. I think I am going to add some milk to this, maybe. Like the coffee flavours that you are getting, dark chocolate, tobacco, kind of like a general kind of earthy, savoury type flavour. Not much. There's a very little bit of acidity there, but it's very small. And there is a bitterness there that kind of whacks the sweetness away. This with milk or in a milk drink, I imagine it's going to be perfectly fine. You make a latte, you use espresso, make a latte with this, it's going to be nice. But I used to think I was pro dark roast. I was big on dark roasts. But light roast seems to be the way for pretty much most coffee. This is nice, and it is not a bad coffee, but it's not one that I really want to drink like this. I'm going to add probably a couple of Demerara sugar cubes to it, a little splash of milk, and it'll be a perfectly nice cup of coffee after that. As it stands, it's not my cup of coffee, not my cup of joe, not my cup of tea. It's not my taste, not to my taste at all. Like those earthy tobacco flavours are not doing it for me. Now for other people, they'll love this. Those savoury, earthy flavours. Some people love it, and some people really like dark roast that tastes like that. They're bold and they're punchy, and with the syrupy mouthfeel of the coffee, people like that. Me, I prefer lighter flavours. I do think I prefer the higher acidity, the juicier, sweeter flavours. So I'm going to add sugar or two, I'm going to add some milk. I'm going to enjoy this with some milk and sugar. And I think that's perfectly fine, because, enjoy your coffee as you want, and I'm going to enjoy mine as I want. Cheers.